Welcome to Debt Buying 202, where we can learn the new rules to debt buying. Sponsored by Lighthouse Consulting, SearchNet Management, and ArmVen. So I thought I would do something a little different this month, and in honor of the Debt Buyers Association I just attended and the information I learned there, and let's talk a little bit more about debt purchase. Right now, what everybody wants to know is, where is the debt? As I was at the Debt Buyers, I learned that everyone was looking for portfolios to purchase. There were a few people at the Debt Buyers that seemed to have some debt, but the majority of the people seemed to be there for just one purpose: to locate portfolios that they could purchase. And most of the people that were looking seemed to be the smaller debt buyers. And what they were really finding out over the last couple of years is it can be extremely frustrating and time consuming to try to locate these portfolios. The volatility in the marketplace is creating a lot of change, and the change is creating the volatility as well. We see change because of the large banks changing. We're going back to what I saw when I first started in the collection business in the 80s, where there were large players that handled most of the national business. Most of the large banks were doing business with just a few large agencies and law firms, and everyone else turned into a regional player. Part of this is happening because the public companies are involved, and the public companies are currently overpaying for debt, which is running out the small debt buyer. These small debt buyers tend to be regional buyers. A lot of them are lawyers that are suing in their own jurisdictions. And they're getting run out of business because there's no debt to purchase. And without that debt to purchase, then they're just not able to continue. So that large public companies believe that by controlling the debt, they can control the marketplace. Thanks to our sponsor ArmVen, a group purchase organization serving the arm industry and providing vendor discounts on all the vendor services you use every day. Visit armven.com to find out much more about this wonderful service. So, if you're looking for debt, do you begin to feel like my dog here? You're just looking through a window and you can't really get past the window and find what you're looking for? So, what is the correct strategy in this marketplace? Well, I can tell you what a lot of people are doing is they're headed towards those niche markets. They're trying to deal with the smaller banks. They're looking for something that everybody else isn't looking for. So here's your piece of advice. Here's what you need to do. You need to go out there and find a way to find something that no one else is looking for, to turn over that rock and find something that the public company is not looking for. Whether it be medical debt, whether it be DDA accounts, whether it be some type of commercial debt, whatever it is that you can locate that is not being searched out by everyone else. Speaking of search, let's remember to thank one of our other sponsors, SearchNet Management. If you're looking for somebody, just give Susan a call. She'll show you how to find them. So let's get back into the strategy of this. You know, unfortunately these days, there's an app for everything, but there's not an app for bill collections. But what I recommend most of you guys do, and what a lot of you guys are doing, you're out there looking for a way to append your file. Do you score? Do you scrub? What do you do? How do you get past that window and get the prize? How do you end up being the winner? I know many debt buyers that are using the scoring method, and they seem to be doing very well. I know many more of the agencies and law firms that I do collections with and do consulting with are very much more interested in trying to score their accounts and make sure that they've got the right accounts going to the right collectors. They're trying to do skills-based routing, something people talked about years ago and just gave up on. It all comes down to simple collections. Get the right collector on the phone with the right debtor at the right time, and you'll find success. But it's becoming more and more difficult to do. So everyone is using the tools that are out there. I suggest you create some type of a scoreboard. some type of a dashboard that's going to allow you to understand exactly what's happening within your organization. As a debt buyer, to find success these days, you're going to have to be highly analytical. Let's talk for a minute about collateral valuation. The valuation of a pool of charged off assets can be both subjective in nature as well as scientific. A little bit like real estate. You can use comparables of other homes in the area. Additional subjective factors, including acquiring a party's operational abilities, business processes, will all factor into pricing or valuation of a portfolio. For example, companies whose process is to flip debt often tend to value a portfolio on the low end because they're trying to acquire it at a slight discount and trade the assets at a modest premium to downstream buyers. Conversely, those buyers whose operational processes are to generate returns from the portfolio tend to approach valuing of a charged off asset completely differently, which oftentimes produces a valuation on the higher end side of the market. In fact, returns will be slightly higher for these debt buyers. Considering the valuation of a portfolio, there are four main elements we need to look at. The first is asset type. Is it credit card, auto, wireless? What type of debt is it? The second would be the age of the debt, fresh, prime, recalls. Third would be the work history of that debt. And of course, fourth would be the account portfolio composition. Is it payers versus non-payers? Are they judgment accounts versus non-judgment accounts? These types of things. However, it's not until the portfolio undergoes a comprehensive modeling process to stratify all the data of the charged off asset pool that a debt buyer can actually fully realize and produce an accurate valuation, at least not scientifically. These elements are also used in the calculation of the expected remaining recovery value, or ERVV. However, if a seller wanted to have their entire portfolio evaluated on an ongoing basis, consideration of all the subcategories would also have to be factored in, such as active accounts, paying accounts or post-dated checks, legal accounts, judgments, garnishments, promises to pay, broken promises, balance transfers, SIF, PIF, bankruptcies of all different kinds, deceased, probate, and any unqualifying accounts need to be included in that valuation. And any type of comprehensive valuation of the entire pool at any particular age through the life cycle of the pool. In addition to your analytics, you're going to have to find a market that you can understand. That's going to be more difficult because we're so used to the credit card market. So the people who can go out and find those new markets and can best analyze those new markets are going to be the ones who are going to find the most success in 2012. The ability to find those markets and then understand them is going to give them the ability to succeed going forward. And there's no doubt that a lot of this is going to rest on the analytics, on the ability to be able to look at those new markets and properly price them. Agencies that are debt buyers or law firms that are debt buyers are going to have an advantage because they will be able to go out and find some niche markets that maybe they're working on contingency. Therefore, they'll have the analytics in hand. They'll understand what the value of the product is prior to making an offer to buy it. I believe the debt buyers that are going to have the most power going forward are the ones that can live by this strategy and understand that the marketplace will never be the same again. We want to thank ArmVend as one of our sponsors. ArmVend can save you money on every vendor service you use every day. We also want to thank SearchNet, and of course, we want to thank Lighthouse Consulting. Thanks again for watching the video. Thanks for your lifetime support.